What's up, everybody? No, I'm kidding. How you doing? You like a pregnant pause at the start?
That freaked me out. I thought I did something wrong.
No, you did everything right. We're going to have some fun. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022. A Tuesday where anything can happen. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the future class of video games, a.k.a. the OK Beast Blessing, Adioye Jr.
You scared me, Greg, because for a second I was like, am I hosting? Am I the one that's supposed to be leading the show?
I just like to give a little bit of panic to everybody. You know what I mean? Especially the people are like, oh man, this intro went too long, whatever's going on. They don't know what's wrong with their cars, their phone. They don't know what anything. And then Barrett's scared, you're scared, everybody's scared.
You ever get those tweets from people that are like, oh, I got the podcast app that cuts out all the dead air, and so whenever you guys do the pregnant pause, it never gets me. Yeah. It's like, good for you.
Here's the thing about that. And like, I understand that there are hundreds, if not thousands of podcasts everybody wants to listen to and stuff. The people who use the app that cuts out the dead air, and the people who listen to us at 1.5 or 2 times the speed, you all are psychopaths. I have no fucking idea how you can even process information if like the moments we take breaths are cut out. Like right there, that was gone. That's gone.
That's gone.
That's gone. I don't know. Imagine you're grocery shopping. It's like, what's up, everybody? We got a million shows. I'm gonna like. That's what you all like.
Yeah,
that's what you like.
It's honestly the equivalent of watching like a Nolan movie on the back of on a tiny airplane screen. You know, like it's just like, what are you doing with your life? You know, it's just like that's not the way we intended. We intend for you to sit in the pregnant pauses with us. You know,
in this technology,
you just made me flip and hate my own argument. Listen, you know what? Zack Snyder, nobody wanted it in a postage stamp size on a big screen when we were watching Justice League, all right? Use all the space, Blessing.
I just love that in this analogy, we're the Dark Knight and their podcast apps are the theater in which they need to walk into and respect the art that is this podcast. Good analogy, Barrett.
Crushed it, Barry. Good job.
Thank you.
Now, Blessing, I know you've worn it before, so I'm not trying to say it, but this is a great outfit. I like this outfit.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. So I'm wearing a new tie-dye shirt that I actually tie-dyed over the weekend.
What?
Yeah. Me and a homie, we tie-dyed this shirt, and it came out really well. It was my first time tie-dyeing anything.
Good job.
Yeah.
It looks like something that like you bought. You know, it
should have more yellow. That's the thing that bummed me out. They're trying to go for a pink yellow look, and the pink obviously comes through, but also like. She claims that the pink really does come through in the lighter color, but like when we were bleaching the shirt, I'm pretty sure it was just the same color. I don't know if the pink really came through.
So here's the thing. Here's I need a full stop, right? I tie-dyed a shirt once during a summer camp in Glen Ellen, Illinois. It was a day camp. You know, you went there all day or whatever. We did tie-dye shirts. So I don't remember anymore. So this wasn't a white shirt. This shirt had color and then you bleached it?
This shirt was a black shirt.
Okay.
And when you're tie-dyeing darker colored shirts, you have to bleach them first and then add in the tie-dye. So in the bleaching process, I swear to God that it was something around this color. Maybe it was a little bit more orangish. Maybe it was a little bit more darker, but I think it was around this color. But we added in pink and yellow, and she says the pink came through. I don't know if the pink came through as much.
The pink, it looks pink, at least on camera.
Lean your chest way close to the cam. I've got you full screen on my end.
Chad, is that pink? That looks pink to me.
Yeah, it's hard because it could be like a really light orange or a red or something too.
And that's my thing is when we bleached it, it was light orangish. And I guess like during the process, I'm not really seeing what the final's going to be.
Yeah, nobody knows what the final's going to be.
And so maybe this is what it's supposed to look like. But
it's like jazz.
There should be more yellow.
You don't know what's gonna be the final product. Greg.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
I do know.
I do want to also say, Bless, like a light red, a light orange. That is just that's pink.
Some might say
it's burnt orange. Guys, let's do this. Let's not do this. Let's not go that way. All right. The one thing I wanted to say before we get to the gaming news of the day is I also appreciate, it's just work from home. I was like, I compliment Blessing's outfit that he stands up and he's got them damn esports pants on again. These damn esports sweatpants from Marvel and who was it? Liquid? Is that right? Liquid.
Yeah, it was Team Liquid. I really like these sweatpants. I wear these sweatpants all the time.
Hey, dude, you're paying attention. I have a great pair of sweatpants, I guess, from Cloud9 from when I did the Cloud9 mental health show. So these esport teams, that's what they got. You know what I mean? They got great merch. They got great comfortable merch.
Yeah. And I feel like me and you both learned after a while, not even after a while, probably after a few months, that we can just phone it in on the bottom half.
Oh, dude, no, this is what Mike always makes fun of me for. Like, I had to stop. I do jeans every day.
Great.
If I gotta run out there right now, if I gotta go meet a mailman, I guess, I don't know. Not many people are swinging by the old homestead. But,
I forget, bless, if I made this up in my head or if I heard someone else say this. So I'm sorry if I'm not properly crediting, but I like to. It's called the podcaster's mullet. Business in the front, party in the bottom.
Yeah. See, who wears pants working from home, says Tons 3311 in the
Greg
chat.
Miller.
Yeah, but it's also like I lived the life with all of you, but at some point in the monotony of forced work at home, of imprisonment during a pandemic, I was like, I got to turn it around. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, remember, I used to wear a shirt and tie every day for Games Daily when we did it in the office. And then I was like, well, we're only home for 2 weeks. I'll let myself relax. I'll wear basketball shorts and stuff. And then I was like, I gotta change it. You know what I mean?
The transition I've made is these are my work sweatpants. When I finish work for the day, I change out of these sweatpants into a different pair of sweatpants that are this is my relaxation sweatpants.
I get that.
That's how I divided up.
I just got my own pair of work sweatpants.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And that's what makes me feel like, okay, cool, I'm dressed up, I'm in work mode now, and then when I take off these sweatpants and change my other ones, that's my leisure sweatpants.
For sure.
But yeah, it helps that transition. Jeans, I feel like it's too much for sitting in my bedroom doing the podcast. You have your, I don't know what you call this.
Yeah, room. Office or whatever.
Your office.
Entertainment room, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if I had an office room that I could go away to and then put on jeans, maybe that'd make more sense. But when
if it makes you feel better, I've grown up into when I go upstairs now to hang out with Jen and Ben, I will put on at night sweatpants or shorts. Because the old stories go of when I went to Catholic school and I wore a uniform, every other kid would get home and tear that uniform off and be so happy to be out of it. I would just walk around like I was still at school, but I would unbutton the shirt, just have it open with an undershirt, so I just looked like a dad who got home from some weird job. But I wore the uniform until I went to bed. There's photos of me with my cats in my lap, or I'm playing a video game.
Jen making fun of you. I feel like you've also been conditioned because Jen would give you shit 100%. About how you would still 100%. Wear jeans until.
I was gonna say, if you didn't have a wife and child, would you change? Would you change back? Would you just
listen? Nobody wants to look into that reality. Nobody wants to know what's happening in that multiverse where Greg Miller single is. I mean, the amount of chicken wings in the trash. You know what I mean? There's I don't even want to know what that apartment looks like that I'm staying in during a global pandemic. Work from home. Jesus. There'd be no end to it. You know what I mean? But speaking of no end, Greg Way, there's no end to the news today. Guess what? There's not going to be a Mortal Kombat announcement at EVO. Logitech is working with Tencent on a new handheld, and Activision has lost millions of players. We'll talk about all this and more because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every right there. That I swallowed my spit. Mm-hmm. That there's just no cadence to what I'm doing for these people who have the podcast thing. You know what I mean?
It's so weird, right? I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to listen to a podcast.
I want you to do it, and I want you to feel it, but I don't know about that. I don't know. Anyways. This is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every day, nerdy news you need to know about. If you like that, of course, you should be part of the show at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, you can write in to be part of the show. You can get the show ad-free. You can get it with the exclusive post show we do each and every weekday. Of course, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can use our Epic creator code, KINDOFFUNNY, when you're checking out of the Epic Game Store, when you're buying V-Bucks on Fortnite on any platform, when you're playing Rocket League on any platform. Then, even though you're not giving us any money technically, Epic gives us some money and says, hey, thanks for sending people our way. And we say, hey, no problem. And you do us well and we do you well and everybody has goods. And you shouldn't do the thing with the cut out the space because it makes me feel like I need to keep talking. I feel like I need to feel every breath. I got to fill every breath. I don't want you to cut it off. You know what I mean? I'm out here. I'm hustling for you. Patreon. Breathe, Greg. If you want another free way to support this show, of course, you can watch it later. Well, no, you could watch it live. Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, just like DJ Kento is, OM Jesus is, and Sir Har Out R. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe each and every weekday. Housekeeping for you. The new Kind of Funny podcast is up, and it's all about me and Tim's wild ride over at WWE SummerSlam. You can come for stories about The Undertaker, Jerry the King Lawler, and Paul Heyman, but you can stay for the video of Tim riding a mechanical bull in a Nashville bar. And also the skeleton I sent Joey, the skeleton motorcycle that we sent Joey.
I didn't even notice the skeleton.
That's why why we sent it. Yeah.
I was
This
like,
does not look
that's a
comfortable for
nice
passengers.
motorcycle, I guess.
Yeah. But then you got the skeleton in the back with a beer in its hand. That's Nashville, baby. You can see the images we're talking about on youtube.com/kindafunny. But if you want to listen on a podcast service with all the things cut out like a bunch of psychos, you're welcome to. Podcast services around the globe. Like, subscribe,
Chat,
share.
what is the podcast service that does that? Because I usually, when I listen to podcasts, I'm listening on Spotify.
And we need to shut it down.
I need to download it to see what that experience is like, because it can't be comfortable. I listen, like, the one podcast I've been listening to lately is the Boy Me. What's it called? It's the Boy Meets World podcast. Yeah, with Will Friedle, Topanga, and Sean Hunter, where they're going through episode by episode. Let me tell you, I am so close to going to Disney Plus and rewatching Boy Meets World all the way from the beginning, because the podcast is getting me real nostalgic. I'm gonna listen to that podcast without the spaces. Pod Meets World. Thank you so much.
Have you started listening to Talkville yet? Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling, Smallville.
Is it the same thing for Smallville?
Yeah, episode by episode. Yeah.
I never watched Smallville, and so I don't know.
It's a perfect time. There's never been a better time.
If they did an Arrow one, I'd watch it.
All right. Well, you're gonna watch the final season of Flash?
No.
I'm gonna watch the final episode of Flash. I'll give him that. You know.
I could see myself doing that. With friends recently, a few months ago, we sat down and decided out of nowhere we're gonna put on the Flash, because we've been seeing these TikToks that have been making fun of how the Flash looks nowadays, which I don't know what happened to the budget. Somewhere along the line, the budget got cut, because like Flash
was never good.
But like, it looked better than what it looks like now. Flash's suit got worse over time. The CGI got worse over time. It looks like Power Rangers, but not even as good as Power Rangers. It is ridiculous. And we went back and watched one of the latest seasons. Let me tell you, it's still entertaining. I was like, oh shit, okay, this is why I watch the shows, because like, even though the budget is on the floor, it is still a good time to watch this thing.
Grant Gustin, man, come on.
He's too likable.
He's very likable.
How much of the Flash did you watch?
I mean, I was super in for seasons 1 and 2, and then I think it started getting real rocky.
Yeah.
And so how what are they at now? Like, is it 9? Is that what I just saw? Or 13? It's something ridiculous for this.
It's
next
probably
one.
Somewhere around that 8 or 9. If there's one episode that I would recommend you watch, there is one episode that is pretty much standalone, where what's his name? Grant Gustin, Barry, is like he's like helping out with he's stopping a crime, right? Where like there's a bomb in a truck that is going off. The bomb goes off and Barry has to enter flashpoint or flash time. And he's like stuck in the Speed Force, and the whole episode is like this 1 second period of him having to figure out how to like defuse this bomb and save everyone before the bomb goes off and kills everybody.
Sure.
Really good episode. There's like one good episode a season of Flash.
Yeah. When they did the crossovers, I'd come back for the crossover. So I kind of got, a dump there of what was going on. But then, he's had so many, his kids there, Iris and him, like what reality are when he's always running back and fucking everything up and doing all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you like slow down stuff, there was a great Smallville once where, every Smallville's great. That's not true. But there was a thing where Clark and Pete were at a graveyard, and it was raining, and then like Clark caught something out of the corner of his eye, and he did Superman time, where it's like the raindrops kind of froze or whatever, and like he looked around and they ran through him chasing somebody or whatever. It was awesome. Yeah. There's also a great episode with the Flash.
With Grant Gustin's Flash?
No. With the young Flash they had.
Is that the one where they race? I saw a clip. Where...
He turns around and does this and just awesome, fucking awesome. God, that was great. Do the effects there hold up? No, not at all. But come on, Mike, you know what I mean? Like,
speaking of effects in CW, I just saw a clip on Twitter today from what I believe might be the Riverdale season finale. Okay. That's another show that fell off a cliff. That I adored Riverdale.
Yeah, all these dorks like that for a long time. There was a big Riverdale movement.
Riverdale was awesome, and then I don't know what I stopped watching it because I got bored of it, and I don't know what happened. But I looked back at a clip that that was just posted by somebody on Twitter today, and I was like, legitimately, they have superpowers now. Like, it's no more just a teen drama.
Well, isn't there like a war? Aren't they like fighting a war now in the show? Plus, like it got like so off the rails, and like I remember just seeing like a clip out where Archie's like, hey, like you're a bad dude, but we're gonna play ball together, and we're gonna like be we're gonna play football, and you're gonna be a good person now. And it's just like, what the fuck is this show?
Did they bring? I vaguely remember. Did the Sabrina from Netflix come over to Riverdale? Was there a crossover there?
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's where things started getting weird. Because in the clip I saw, remind me the name of the redhead girl in Riverdale. She was doing some superpower shit. Like she was like doing sorcery. She looked like Wanda, actually. Wanda Maximoff.
Cool.
She was doing some of that kind of sorcery, and it looked like she was about to explode, blow up the entire town. And then the clip cuts, and I'm like, man, maybe I need to watch Riverdale again. This looks wild.
I
Cheryl
also
Blossom.
will say Sabrina, that reboot, Alyssa was watching, and it was pretty interesting.
Season 1 was fire.
Yeah.
I didn't get around to season 2, but I really like season 1 of Sabrina.
Next on housekeeping, August Patreon Platinum item has been revealed. It's designed and concepted by Phil J. Woodward. You can see it right there. If you're an audio listener, of course, you can go to kindafunny.com/platinum and then go to patreon.com/kindafunny or patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Support the platinum tier level, and you'll get this amazing collection of my voice memos to Andy. That's right. Greg's voice memos to Andy have been adapted into a 20-page booklet designed and concept by Phil J. Woodward. It is my first year of Twitter voice messages it's got stories, it's got art. It is definitely going to be used in court against me one day. And I think that's only okay if you get it on Patreon. I don't mind going down for it eventually. You know what I mean? When people are like, he's criminally insane, clearly put him away, and they show this, that's one thing. But because I'll tell you, Barrett read some of it to me at the start of the pre-show here, and I was like, I don't remember any of that, of course. But
because I love that they also he's describing even your pauses, which he had to put in some imagination there because they're just voice memos.
Sure.
So he writes out, he let out a brief chortle at all of the ideas that were swirling around in his mind before he continued. So what I want you to do is take that fucking jacket you're always wearing and put it on because we're going on rides, brother.
Imagine if you're a podcast listener and you're listening on one of those weird apps that cuts out all the dead.
You never know you never know the chortle and the thought. You would just be right onto it, you know. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Fargo, Brady, Guy V, and the Saboteur. Today we're brought to you by MeUndies and Chime, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 6 items on the Roper Report.
Baker's dozen.
Number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Mortal Kombat 12 will not be announced at EVO 2022, claims some chucklehead named Ed Boon. This is Jordan Midler over at VGC. Ed Boon has claimed that the next game in the Mortal Kombat franchise won't be announced as part of the upcoming EVO 2022 championship event. In a tweet quoting an article from IGN, the man who has been behind the franchise since its inception said, quote, ... except Mortal Kombat, sorry. This is a reference to the article suggesting that, quote, the developers behind Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Guilty Gear are all expected to make announcements during EVO 2022, end quote. In a further response to this, Boone said, quote, it's time for Street Fighter and other great fighting games to be in the sun, end quote. If you remember, of course, yesterday we talked about this on Kind of Funny Games Daily from the PlayStation blog perspective over there. They wrote, the EVO Lounge will feature top-shelf curated show coverage, bracket updates, interviews with players, and exciting content and reveals from developers and publishers such as Arc System Works, Warner Brothers Games, Capcom, SNK, and Bandai Namco Entertainment, as well as all the latest from the scene with pro players and casters. Of course, EVO Lounge is going to be their show they're doing from EVO, and when you drop in Warner Brothers Games, we were off to the races with what that could mean. I, of course, was right on the money, said multiverses. They're just going to do some multiverses thing, but then everybody else wants to dream of an Injustice, a Mortal Kombat, as something else. Blessing, are you shocked to see Ed Boon come out ahead of time and say no?
Shocked, no. A little bit sad, yes. I would love for there to be some kind of NetherRealm announcement at EVO, and I think that's part of where the hype comes from when it comes to this EVO Lounge thing from PlayStation. This is the first EVO that is happening under PlayStation's umbrella, and this is the first time they've announced an event like this, and so there's not really an expectation of this is what the ceiling is, or this is what the floor is of announcements, right? Like fighting games, I don't think have a central place for big announcements. Like EVO has had its stuff, right? EVO in past years has had DLC for games. Like I remember there was one cool Tekken character that was announced recently at an EVO. I want to say like about 2 EVOs ago, of like the older black dude with the white hair. Chat, correct me about the name of him. And I remember that being a hype thing. I was like, oh shit, this guy looks cool, right? And I think those are usually the tier of announcements that you're getting at an EVO. But there's not necessarily been a here's a stream where we're going to talk about the future of fighting games. And I think PlayStation being PlayStation and them having Evo as this outlet and having the stream as an outlet could maybe possibly be that sort of thing. But if they're going to get there, I could see it taking some time. I think that would take a lot of lining up of, hey, Bandai Namco, hey, Warner Brothers, hey, Arc System Works, like, what are you guys working on? Like, these games are probably going to be on PlayStation, because PlayStation, I think, has a really good has really good groundwork in terms of having fighting games on the platform. Like, there are very few fighting games that aren't on PlayStation. That could be the outlet for that. But this being the first time they're doing this, right? I think it's tough to imagine that we're gonna get a big new Mortal Kombat and also a big new, Marvel versus Capcom, and also a big new SNK game, right? When you look through the article from yesterday talking about what's going to be at the Evo Lounge, right, from PlayStation Blog, they say developers and publishers such as Arc System Works. You look at that and it's like, all right, that's probably some Guilty Gear thing, or that's probably DNF Duel, because that is an Arc System Works game that came out a couple months ago. I can see that being DLC for that game.
Sure.
You go to Warner Brothers games, and yeah, that's going to be Multiverses. Multiverses is coming out literally right now, and that's going to be at Evo, right? They have like a whole special tournament dedicated to Multiverses. Right now is a great time where they can announce either a new character or a new stage for that. You go along the list, right? Capcom, Street Fighter 6 is probably going to be playable at Evo. Street Fighter 6 might have maybe another character announcement, right? That's the thing that they've been doing since the latest big trailer for Street Fighter 6 came out at that PlayStation State of Play. They've been marketing that game nonstop, so that's probably what that's going to be. You move on, SNK, King of Fighters 15 came out in February. I'm sure that'll be maybe a DLC character or a new stage or something along the lines of DLC for that game. And then you get to Bandai Namco Entertainment, and they have a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game that's about to come out.
Yeah.
I imagine that'll be...
Right?
Yeah, but I played that at Summer Game Fest, right? And it's a pretty fun game. I imagine that maybe it'll be another announcement for that, or maybe there is some other Bandai Namco anime arena fighter, something along the lines of a Demon Slayer game, or I believe there's like a My Hero game that was announced recently that I would assume is Bandai Namco. I would imagine that is one of those things, right? And like, these are the least, I would say, maybe the least exciting announcements, but I do think that
feels right for the caliber of what we're talking about. And I don't mean the caliber of the live show, but just caliber of Evo in general, where you're preaching to the converted. So you don't need necessarily the biggest of announcements. Like Mortal Kombat, the next Mortal Kombat's huge. And it transcends fighting games, right? That's not like, I would venture to guess the majority of people who play and own. Let me try that again. I would bet the majority of people who have bought Mortal Kombat don't know what Evo is. And that's not me talking shit about Evo, just talking, about how the competitive fighting game scene is a niche within our niche of video games, which is in, blah, 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 blah. You're drilling into such a specific thing. Where I think Mortal Kombat, right, either gets announced at a big thing like an E3 or a Summer Games Fest or a Game Awards, or is big enough to stand on its own, and just one day you drop that trailer and it's it's an IGN first, and it's all over the place and people are sharing it that way. Where it was interesting to think and talk and debate yesterday about it, where it's like, if you want to put Evo on that level and that map, and PlayStation wants to throw that clout, I could see that happening. I guess, like, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility to announce it there, but it's so much bigger than that. Whereas if we're going to come back and now it's like, all right, well, now we're talking about a new character or whatever for Guilty Gear, or a new character for Multiverses or whatever. Like, that makes a lot of sense, because you are talking about an audience that's into that minutia of what these games are.
100%. Yeah. And I think the only way that a new Mortal Kombat game or a new Injustice game or something of that caliber gets announced at Evo would be if PlayStation is really putting in the work to go, no, we want Evo to be thought of in that way. We want Evo to be mainstream. We want this entire audience to have eyes on it. And I could see them doing that. But at the same time, when you look at Warner Brothers and you look at the value of Mortal Kombat and the ways in which you can reveal that is Game Awards, that is E3, that is a big PlayStation showcase, that is, hey, let's just release it by ourselves, or like do a DC fandom kind of thing. That is of that echelon of announcement, and that's pretty valuable for Warner Brothers. And so it's tough for me to imagine again, I'm not surprised that Ed Boon is like, no Mortal Kombat, sorry. I'm like,
that's just Ed Boon being smart, right? If you see the wheels started going, the rumor mills are going, you Get in front of that, because if you say nothing, you're like, oh, it's good promotion. When Evo gets here and there's no Mortal Kombat, they get pissed off. Everybody's pissed off and everybody's angry.
And Greg, he only mentions Mortal Kombat though. He only mentioned Mortal
Injustice. You think we're getting Injustice 3 there?
No, I don't think we're gonna get it. But I do think that's probably they're working on some DC thing before they do another MK. I think.
What about the Marvel? What about the Marvel?
I think the Mortal Kombat thing is going to be next. And that's based on, I think Jeff Grubb talked about it a while ago, and there were some other reports about Mortal Kombat 12 is the one that's next. And I think that makes sense because Mortal Kombat is a huge moneymaker. Injustice is a huge moneymaker too, but Mortal Kombat being on a new platform, because there's not a PS5 original Mortal Kombat yet, I think it could be smart to get ahead of it and go, no, let's do 2 Mortal Kombats back to back, especially since it's been a while since we've done the last one, and then maybe go back into doing Injustice or something else. Marvel would be interesting. I would love for them to make a Marvel game. The tough thing about that is, for me, does Marvel go to Warner Brothers, the owners of DC, and go, hey, make a game for us? I don't know. Right? I feel like that's a little bit more further fetched. You think so?
Yeah, I mean, remember for years, this is what I was saying about Lego games, where I was like, no, TT Games is owned by Warner Brothers. You'll never get a Lego, a Marvel, or whatever after that happened or whatever, and and then you did. I was like, oh, okay,
that's a good point. Yeah,
there you go. Kept going. Nobody cares. Money talks, especially for Marvel Games right now, who understands that, hey, if we're just trying to ape Injustice, right? Like, we want to go to the best, and NetherRealm's going to be the best at that. Real quick to tie it up, we were joking around about the Injustice thing in the chat, kept pointing it out just to make sure if you're in your car with no pauses right now, so you just want one train of thought, we do want to call out, of course, that the reason Mortal Kombat got called out right is because the IGN tweet called out Mortal Kombat. So,
gotcha.
Does it disqualify? I mean, again, there were a lot of how much do you want to read into sentences or whatever, but Ed Boon's saying Mortal Kombat, no. We'll see what happens, I guess, at EVO, which is coming up very fast, ladies and gentlemen. Las Vegas this weekend, this very, very weekend. Bet on games, I guess. I don't know what that means. Number 2 on the Roper Report. Logitech is working with Tencent on a mysterious handheld. This is Tom Warren at The Verge. Logitech G is working with Tencent Games to launch a dedicated cloud gaming handheld later this year. The new hardware will be designed for cloud gaming services, offering a dedicated device with controls instead of the typical cases you attach to phones. The cloud gaming handheld will support Xbox Cloud Gaming and NVIDIA's GeForce Now service, and Logitech and Tencent are both working with Microsoft and NVIDIA on the hardware. Logitech and Tencent are simply teasing the device today, and there's no mention of a release date, pricing, or even what the cloud gaming handheld looks like. Logitech will obviously be leaning on its experience building PC and console gaming accessories, while Tencent looks to be more as an operations partner. Quote, as one of the leading global platforms for game development, publishing, and operations, Tencent Games has been at the forefront of innovation, and it's why we partnered with them, explains the general manager of Logitech G. As someone that grew up playing video games, the idea of being able to stream and play AAA games almost anywhere is super exciting, and we can't wait to show everyone what we've been working on. In the chat, Sphinx Jur says Logitech. Not a bad name.
I like it.
Bless, does this get you going at all?
Not really. I think it's a cool idea. Logitech is a well-known company, right? Yeah. Like well known for making hardware. Tencent has a lot of money. I think this partnership makes sense. The one thing that gives me pause is the fact that it is a streaming device, right? I think that's going to help for it to maybe be cheap. I would imagine that means you're maybe buying it for $100, $200, which makes it competitive in price, but also doesn't put it in a place to be competitive in terms of like being comparable to a Steam Deck or being comparable to the Switch. Right? I think that for me, the special thing about the Steam Deck is that it's this big, beautiful device that has a lot of power in it. When I can take my games anywhere, I can play them at the airport, I can play them at home, I can play them literally in an airplane. Right? If I'm playing,
it's what I did this weekend.
Yeah, and like if I have this streaming only device, that's going to eliminate so many options in terms of playing on the go. Of course, I can connect to Wi-Fi on the airplane, but I'm sure that's going to work great, right? When I'm trying to play off of Xbox Game Pass or xCloud or NVIDIA GeForce Now, which sends back a lot of data. For me, that's kind of the shortcoming of it. But I'm curious to see like how they market it. I'm curious to see what it is and like the form factor of it and all that stuff. I think there could be promise there, but it's not a head turner for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Obviously, I love new tech and I love new devices, and I do really like streaming, and I do really like trying to get all our games into take them wherever you want to take them and do whatever you want with them. But the device itself, like, I'm more excited to see what it looks like, but I really can't fathom what they would do that I would go, oh, that I want to buy that. Like, I have a Steam Deck. I love my Steam Deck. I have the Switch. But if we're talking about streaming, right? Like, I have now 2 backbones. I have the, classic original backbone, and then I have the new PlayStation backbone that I talked about on TikTok last week. It's never going to focus on my face, but you know what I'm saying. And how much bigger is the screen going to be on this Logitech one than my iPhone that I slide into the backbone, and I'm ready not only to stream Xbox cloud gaming, I'm ready to, remote play my PlayStation, which I do all the time. Like, I'm not saying that, like, obviously no one has a use case for this, but for me personally, like, you start getting into a bigger and bigger screen for it. And then it's like, well, at that point, with what we're talking about streaming, why wouldn't I use my iPad and have a controller connected to that? And I know, well, this one would be handheld, and it's like, sure, but I can't imagine the screen going from the backbone to what the iPad is. You put that in the center with what the Logitech device is handheld, and I'm going to look at it and go, oh, well, that's clearly, I need that. I need that thing for what I like about the backbone controller is, that for me, remote playing more than streaming. Remote playing is such the TV's in use right now. I'll do this for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, while Jen watches her show. And then when she goes to bed, I'll switch it back to the big one. Whereas, like, last night with the Steam Deck, it was like I was playing a thing while I was watching Raw. I had Raw on, and I was playing with the Steam Deck. And then Raw finished, and I just plugged the Steam Deck in, and it was back onto the big TV there. But again, that's even different because I can put the Steam Deck into the plane. I can take it wherever I am. I don't have to be connected to everything. There's a use case for this, but I feel like the market would be so small based on the fact that if you're so nerdy, as we all are, if you're listening to this podcast, super nerdy, if you're listening while you cut the shit out, you're so nerdy, you understand all the solutions to stream games right now with the tech you already have. Where it's like, why not buy a $20 controller clip and put your phone in that, or like, there's so many different ways to do this without buying this kind of device.
And that comes back to the promise of streaming for me. For me, streaming video games is an exciting idea because you can stream off of anything, right? Like, I could stream with Samsung, with Xbox's partnership with Samsung and the smart TVs. I have a Samsung smart TV. I don't have a 2022 one, and so it's not going to work on mine yet. But when it comes to mine, right, like, I'll be able to play Xbox Game Pass off of my TV via streaming. I can play Xbox Game Pass xCloud via my phone, right? Like, that is only going to expand more and more and more to more devices. I can play Xbox Game Pass xCloud off of my Steam Deck if I wanted to, right? I have so many options for that. And do I really need to buy another device that is specifically for that use case, specifically to stream games from Game Pass and Nvidia? I don't know, right? And and honestly, I don't know necessarily who this is for. It might be for somebody who is like, no, I want something that is dedicated to that has the exact form factor and feel of the Logitech thing. But how many people is that, right? And I think if we're going to go that route too, it'll have to be cheap. I mean, how many people are going to show up and pay $150 for a device that they don't necessarily need because they have so many other things that can have that same functionality? At that point, it's like, maybe put it out for $60 or $80 as opposed to going to 100 or 150, which I have to imagine for an original device that they're making would get up there.
I doubt you've done it recreationally, but even for a test, have you done Xbox? Have you done xCloud on your Steam Deck?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
How's it work?
I've done it recreationally, and it's great.
Right.
I've played Forza Horizon 5, a little bit of that, right? When games get more into that range of things where it's heavy fidelity, looks great, is running very smooth and all that stuff, you start to see the artifacting on screen. It is definitely a lesser way to play than to just play natively, but it is playable, and I could see myself for other Game Pass games coming to the platform going about that way. I started playing Amori, which is the weird like hand-drawn art style Earthbound looking game, and I forgot I was playing through xCloud when I was playing it on my Steam Deck. And it was relatively easy to set up, right? Like, they don't have an xCloud app native on the Steam Deck, but all you need to do is go to the desktop mode. Add like Internet Explorer to your Steam library as a non-native app or whatever, and then like you do a couple of things, kick back to the main menu, and there it is. Like you can boot up xCloud whenever you want, and it feels like a native app, even though it not necessarily is. It works really well, and yeah, like honestly, for me, I have no use case for this Logitech thing, right? Having a Steam Deck, having my phone, and then having a TV that eventually is going to have xCloud as well.
Yeah, and that's we'll wait and see. I want to see. I think it'll be cool to see what it looks like. I hope it finds an audience. I hope it introduces more people to it. Yada yada yada. But like, I do struggle to see who would be like, I'm so into streaming, and I'm just not happy with the experience I'm getting from my phone, my iPad, my Samsung app that I need to add this into the equation. But could be. They are out there, and I'm sure it's you. And you need to say, hey, in the comments, say, hey, it's me. Hey, it's me. And I'll know what that means. If I see, hey, it's me. Hey, I'll know that's you saying that you're about
Hey, you. I don't like your girlfriend.
No way. I think you need a new one.
Yeah, there you go.
One of my favorite things. Oh, that wasn't even that, actually. You ever see What the Hell? You ever see the music video for What the Hell for Avril Lavigne?
Nah, I don't know.
I was gonna say I was on thin ice there because this actually might have been you or whatever. But one night at the old studio before Barry got here, there was What the Hell. I was already gone, but there was drinking happening in the office, and Joey and Kevin and a bunch of other people were like just playing music as we did off the computers and off the YouTubes.
Right.
And eventually I got like a text or whatever because they put on the Avril Lavigne song What the Hell, and they scrolled down. And like the top comment, probably because of who you follow, who you shared, was kind of funny. And it was just, why is she being so mean to this guy? It was me from when it kind of funny was Game Over Greggy, and I would just watch stuff and leave comments. They were all drunk enough to think that was the craziest fucking thing.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
I digress. Number 3 on the Roper Report, AEW Fight Forever listing reveals platforms, match types, and more. This is Jordan Midler at VGC. Now, Blessing, this actually puts me into a sticky situation. Of course, I host a WWE show, and as part of that contract, I'm not allowed to read I'm just fucking around. An Amazon UK listing for AEW Fight for Forever has revealed the platforms that the upcoming wrestling game is coming to, as well as a product description. It's spotted by Gamatsu. The game is currently listed on Amazon UK for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. No Xbox One version of the game is listed. The game's release date is listed as December 31st, 2022, which is a placeholder as a final release date has yet to be announced. The game's product description sheds more light on the game, including revealing some match types that are set to be included. You have 4 bullet points, and they read like this. Combines nostalgic arcade wrestling feel with innovative all-elite wrestling finishers and offensive moves. Talent roster combines the biggest legends to enter the ring, plus brand new high-flying AEW stars. Fuego del Sol! Single, tag team, 3-way, 4-way, ladder, casino battle royale, falls count anywhere, unsanctioned lights out, exploding barbed wire death, and online co-op multiplayer matches. And then your final one is tag team matches featuring a sequence of team maneuvers performed with simple commands. A report earlier this year by wrestling website Fightful Select claimed that the AEW game may be released as soon as September. No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way. Don't do that to me. I don't want that hope. That's me as Hawkeye in the ring going, don't give me hope.
There's no way that's happening, right? Like that game has to be further off than September.
I would 1000% think so. And then because they've shown stuff before, Barrett, if you can do a quick search for AEW Fight Forever. I forget how long ago it was they did that little AEW games update because they've been really good about communicating it.
Yeah.
And they put out like the 2 different character trailers where you saw some in-game stuff and like them coming to the ring and all that stuff. And it was like neat. And then bam, it was. This is their original debut trailer, which I didn't think, or this is actually, I guess, somebody talking over it. No, maybe this isn't. No, this is the trailer. And then there was this. Oh, this is an IGN compilation, I see. Where they had Nyla Rose come out. Yeah, they made a big deal when they had this with Nyla and Chris. There you go. Going through, showing these characters, showing what they look like. And again, when I'm talking about don't give me hope, like, I didn't the first trailer that they had done for AEW. Like, don't get me wrong, it's Ukes, it's the AKI people. Kenny Omega knows he's doing right here. Looking at this is where I popped, where I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because that looks like that looks like a modern N64 wrestling game, which is what Kenny Omega's been so vocal about what they're trying to make with this game. And so like when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that looks fun. And again, I talked about this yesterday in KFGD's post show over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. We did a shit list for the top 10 wrestling games as listed by IGN.com in 2020. And when we were talking about No Mercy, which was number 1, of course, I called out the fact that, I have it on my Steam Deck. And when I was flying to Nashville, I played Taz through the Hardcore Championship. And it was like, damn, this game still holds up. And yeah, obviously it looks dated out. The crowd doesn't look great, yada, yada, yada. But like, it is fun to play. And it actually, like, I will continue to play that. I will go back to that more and more on my Steam Deck for some things like that. And so the idea that Fight Forever is going to try to capture that. And it looks like, just from a glance of what they're doing there, looks like they are capturing that. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think there might be some new screenshots on the store page that went up today. If you want to see if you can find those. Yeah, I'm
okay. What store page?
For AEW Fight Forever. The store page went up today, so I think there might be some screenshots on there.
On PlayStation store page or
no, Amazon.
Gotcha.
I'm curious to see like if this is able to build sort of a new or like sort of a second I guess branch for people who like wrestling games, because I feel like WWE 2K22 has done such a good job of, at least for me, revitalizing wrestling games and making me excited again about playing wrestling games. Like you, I didn't download No Mercy, but I did get both SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, which is my favorite SmackDown vs. Raw, and then also SmackDown Just Bring It, which was my first wrestling game that I played on PS2. And I hopped into both of those, and it was the thing of, oh wow, these games have aged.
Oh damn, right? I didn't see these.
Yeah. These are the new screenshots, which like they look cleaner. When I saw the original trailers that dropped for the AEW game, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, and even in some of these screenshots, I do think the game in the character model.
Man, they got cover art too. I didn't realize that. And I know you're gonna say, oh, you're reading about the thing. I thought we were just like reading very, very much placeholder shit.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff looks pretty cool. Right, like some of the animations in the face, I feel like look a little bit off to me. But like you say, right, like the core of this is the gameplay, especially if they're going for that No Mercy style of gameplay, and it looks like that, right? So if they're able to make that No Mercy style wrestling game for the Greg Millers out there, and for the new people that want to hop into that kind of wrestling game, and then also at the same time, 2K22 is holding it down for that new style of wrestling game fans, I think that could be a best of both worlds scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks great. And Kenny Omega again has been quoted in the lead up to this talking about the fact of like, listen, we're not going to be 2K22. Like he's like, that game's beautiful, that game's amazing. It's had years of development. It's got all these match types. Well, we're not doing that. And when he had originally said that, my expectations were already tempered, obviously, for your first game coming out in the gate, what you're going to have. But then like he did, like even reading here, it does have modes, it does have match types. They know career is important, they know creating a character is important. Like I think it'll offer a distinct experience to what WWE 2K22 does, and I think WWE 2K22 does a lot right. Like again, I'm still playing that game, which I haven't said about a WWE or a wrestling game in I guess Fire Pro, but in a long time, where I'm like, if I have a couple minutes, I'm like, you know what, I will pop in and I will, do a little bit of the my faction stuff or whatever. And I still need to double back to, I've never finished Ray's thing. I never went through all the historic stuff in that. I never finished my created storyline mode or whatever in my career. Anyways, what I'm saying is there's still so much for me to do in WWE 2K, and I do expect me to do it in 2K22. However, I'd still be stoked when this drops to jump in. And if this is, again, what No Mercy is, which is, hey, these are fast matches. They're fun to play. And you're in and you're out. And yeah, it's not going to have a my faction thing. It's going to have a storyline I play through and be done with it. Then maybe it is, online. I'm playing with my friend Sean from across the country and we're doing stuff there. Maybe that becomes that kind of experience out of it, where it is just the pure fighting wrestling game, whereas WWE is building trophies and, trying to do these different things. Yeah, I'm going to take a question from kindoffunny.com/blessing at AOA Jr.
Yeah, I actually have two questions. Firstly, what is a casino battle royale?
Let me try that for you. Because I think that comes from all or nothing. I'm not, for full disclosure, I'm not an AEW fan, so it's not like I'm keeping up on what's going on. And I that makes it sound like I'm an enemy or something. I'm not that either. I just haven't watched a lot of
WWE now, right? Like you're naturally an enemy.
Of course, yeah. Oh no. Sage Shin Megami says it's AEW's unique battle royale. Battle royale with each wrestler being assigned a suit, like a suit of cards. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know how that. I don't know. So usually there's 21 participants. Okay, so it just all goes into that. Timmy Buddy says a casino battle royale is similar to a Royal Rumble, but 5 people come out at a time. Okay, it's a battle royale, and
Is this Royal Rumble but legally distinct?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, a battle royale is over the top. So the Royal Rumble is just an iteration of what the battle royale is.
Yeah.
There's a mystery joker that comes out at the end. It's hype.
And then my second question is there a chance that KFW transitions into this AEW game from 2K22?
Great question, man. That's really cool. I would doubt it, just because we've already got so much built in KFW that I wouldn't see us being like, let's rebuild everything from there. But never say never. Like, eventually that would have to happen no matter what, right? In terms of shifting things right there. G.K. says their create mode won't be anywhere near as good. Yeah, but that's also great. IMO, like, that's my thing about. I, as you all know, love professional wrestling video games. It's like literally my DNA, in the same way Ghostbusters is in my DNA of why I love video games. And what I loved about the N64 is that when my friends would come over and I'd be like, I made all of us from BYWF, and we would put it in there. Every one of us that came out, every character that came out, the person in the room would be like, oh my God, that looks so much like me. And did it look photorealistic? Of course not. But it was that, Faf wrestled in fatigues with a white tank top over his outfit. And I was able to build that and make the logo the color that you looked at it and you're like, oh, that makes sense, because everybody's, if you're Stone Cold or you're Mike Pfaff in this game, you look enough like yourself that you're like, oh, that's great. I think those limitations personally, and this is just a Greg Miller thing, personally lead to more connection to the character. Because to this day in WWE 2K22, right, like, and this is not an insult, obviously, to Lighter or Olive Party or myself even, because we've all tried. I don't think the Greg Millers in those games look like me enough. Like, it's almost the Uncanny Valley thing where it's like so close that it feels like a wax museum thing, or you know what I mean? Like, we're not there to be completely photorealistic, but you're so close that then I think it highlights all the things that are a little bit wrong. So, like, if that makes sense, where it's like you can suspend disbelief and it's you and yada, yada, yada. But like, I appreciate it when everybody's on the same playing field of like, nobody looks 100%. So you look at everybody and you're like, oh, that's really good. Like, that actually looks really cool for what it's trying to do. So like, I think that works to it. And again, like, if you want to bring in the whole My Universe stuff, right, the WWE 2K22 does, how many times did that bit us in the ass? Where, oh, well, I built it last night and I saved it, but when I came back in, the belts are all gone and I didn't notice that, so I did this. Or Joey keeps interrupting the match. She has no reason to be here. It's a bug. Or, man, this is building to a really cool storyline, and Khalif Adams should be super pissed, but instead Paris kicks his ass and he shakes his hand. Yep. And it's like, well, we just got to. I still think that if we just did every match one by one, it would be like we could do it together better, but then you couldn't have run-ins. And there's all these things. Like, again, I think limitations breed imagination in a lot of ways.
That makes sense.
No. You know what else makes sense, Blessing Adeoye Jr.? Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. I won't lie to you. I really thought you were going to ask me more about like the barbed wire death match. And that's like a classic exploding barbed wire. That goes all the way back to Japan. I could have talked your ear off about that. You're like, what's the casino battle? I'm like,
that was the first one I saw that. I mean, like, oh, I don't think I know what that is. Like the fall, well, everybody knows falls counts anyways. I did see the unsanctioned lights out and the exploding barbed wire death. And I did want to ask about those, but I know we're late in the show. So I was like, I'll figure that out later.
The lights out match has all weapons and interference legal, and pinfalls can occur anywhere in the building. Additionally, because the match is considered to not be sanctioned, the results do not count toward the win-loss records of the people involved. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. You can go there. You can, of course, write in to be part of the show. You can get the post show we do each and every weekday. You could be a Patreon producer. You could just help us and say, hey, you're doing a great job and here's some money. However, if you really went there, what you get for right now would be a show with no ads. But guess what, Jack? You're not listening on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So here's a word from our sponsor. No one likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you got bills due. Good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early with direct deposit. That's up to 2 days more to save, pay bills, and generally feel good about your money situation. But Chime is more than just about getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com chime.com/KFgames. That's chime.com/KFgames. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on the payer. Have you heard about the legendary underwear brand that's taken the podcast world by storm? Famous for their buttery soft undies and bralettes, MeUndies loves podcasts just as much as you do. It's like they're made for you, and you're made for them. You're made for each other. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know I love my MeUndies because they're the most comfortable underwear I've ever had, and because they have great patterns. As the king of Halloween, my candy corn pair never fails to make me smile. Everyone knows MeUndies for their super soft undies and comfy bralettes, but did you know they also make other stuff? We're talking about durable, cushy socks that will make your feet sing. They even make hoodies for your dog so you can match every important person in your life. Available in sizes XS to 4XL and tons of colors and prints. MeUndies has a great offer for my listeners. Any first-time purchasers can get 20% off plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny. Number 4 on the Roper Report, Activision Blizzard loses millions of players, but it's 25% more developers year on year. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN.com. Call of Duty, an Overwatch publisher, Activision Blizzard has lost millions of players compared to this time last year, but despite that decrease, has grown its pool of developers by 25%. During its latest earnings results, Activision Blizzard revealed that its monthly users, active users, categorized as anyone who accesses one of its games in that time frame, fell from 372 million at the end of March 2022 to 361 million at the end of June. Wow. God, how can they get by with just 361 million active users?
They're done.
This drop continues the publisher's downward trend as the number of monthly active users on June 30th last year was 408 million, and it has fallen relatively steadily ever since. There are some extenuating circumstances at work. Activision Blizzard has had a notably quiet release schedule recently, partly due to game delays and a natural reduction in players after COVID lockdowns. The lowering numbers of players hasn't deterred Activision Blizzard from investing in its own development teams, however, as the report also states that this has grown considerably since June last year. Quote, I ran upstairs to get water. This isn't the quote, sorry. I ran upstairs to get water, so I'm just a little out of breath, you know what I mean? Because I'm like trying to catch up, and I'm also trying to read, and then I'm also in my head about it, and I'm also like, I got to see what a casino battle royale is now. I got to go watch it, you know what I mean? I got to go watch Double or Nothing. Chat, is that where I'd go do it? I got to go watch that pay-per-view?
Miller, breathe.
Apparently the last person that runs in is the Joker. That sounds real cool. not like Batman's Joker, but like they got the Joker suit.
Oh man, is it going to be Heath Ledger or Jared Leto this time?
No, it's going to be what's his face? Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh man, yeah, he just dances to the ring. Quote, during the second quarter, our teams made strong progress on a broad pipeline of content across established franchises. It said, we continue to increase investment in our creative resources to meet the demand for our content. Our development headcount at the end of the second quarter grew 25% year over year. End quote.
I feel like a good question would be like, which Joker would you least want to see running down the ring? Because Joaquin Phoenix's Joker was like a crazy man, of course. But I've seen what Heath Ledger's Joker can do with a pencil.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess with that guy.
I got to send you, I'll dig it out. I'll go, after the show, I'll go into my TikTok likes. And I guess Teen Titans did a really good, Teen Titans Go did a really good Joker joke the other day. And how long ago? It's probably years ago or whatever, but where they all dressed up and did impressions of the Joker, and then Robin ran up as Jared Leto, and they all just shit on him.
Oh, that's really
like, you can't fucking be the Jared Leto.
I know there's a tangent, but every single time I see a clip.
Oh, I mean, this news story, there you go. They lost a bunch, but they still have a bunch, and they're adding more developers. Great. They also got bought by Xbox. Who knows what the future holds? There, we've talked about this story. Back to the Joker.
See, every time I see a clip from Teen Titans Go, I'm like, this show seems awesome.
Oh, dude, Teen Titans Go, even before we had Ben, was if that was on Saturday mornings, Jen and I would click it on and just let it play on Cartoon Network because it's funny as hell.
I used to Teen Titans, the original, was one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows. And yeah, when Teen Titans Go originally came out, I was like, this is not my Teen Titans. This is all cute and stuff. Every single time I see a clip, I'm like, yo, I should watch this.
Do you want me to lend you the Blu-ray I have, which is the Teen Titans Go Teen Titans movie where they meet?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll bring it over next time. Okay.
Let's get him, borrow that from him, and then we both go to Tim's house to play it at Tim's house.
Oh, and in the theater? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can I come?
No, it's a me and Blessing thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
me
fair enough.
Blessing.
Is Tim going to be there though, or are you just going to
No,
use his theater?
it's just me and Blessing.
This is me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll push out.
We'll hit up Cool Greg to hit us to let us in. You know.
Sure, that makes sense.
A couple things with this too, like. Yeah,
I really hope we're just gonna leave it. Here's a bunch of businessy thing.
No, I to grant some context, right? And like a kind of like a of course, like I feel like when you release less games, of course you're gonna get less players. So like looking back at
the same thing too with the COVID lockdown, right? Gaming in general is seeing a bit of a reduction, and you see Matt Piscatella talk about this all the time of like the bump we all got, which is crazy to say, but the bump you got during the pandemic of people being locked in their houses is definitely waning, if not waning.
Yeah, so like I think you're suffering from that. It's also you look back at the last year of Activision games, and their latest game is Call of Duty Vanguard, which came out last fall, right? And the latest games before that were ports of Tony Hawk and Crash in 2021, and then before that is Black Ops Cold War, and that's compared to it's like Activision they're putting out less games over time. And of course, that's because they see all their value in Call of Duty, so of course they're like, oh yeah, let's go all in on this. But then also their latest Call of Duty game was Call of Duty Vanguard. And Vanguard is not a Modern Warfare, nor is it a Black Ops, and so of course it's going to sell less than those two because it doesn't have the same brand recognition. So yeah, these numbers make sense. I'm more so curious to see what these numbers look like. Let's say by the end of this year, right, going into early next year, where it is this fall for Activision Blizzard, you have Overwatch 2, and then you also have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm sure they're looking at those as these big number drivers, right? I wonder what that does, but then also, under Xbox, I wonder how much we see change. Then I also wonder if we see Activision Blizzard put out more games aside from just Call of Duty and the huge Blizzard titles.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be fascinating to see how they rebound, what Xbox does with it, et cetera, so on. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's so far away. So instead, I'm going to go to story number 5. Remedy's postponing its first multiplayer game, Vanguard, to 2023. This is Alessio Palumbo at WCCF Tech. In a press release published this afternoon, Finnish game studio Remedy announced some changes to its development and financial roadmap. More specifically, it has lowered its revenue and operating outlook result due to the delay of its first multiplayer game, Vanguard. The statement from the CEO reads, Remedy is currently working on 5 world-class game titles, and our capability to develop these games is stronger than ever. With our transition to a multi-project operating model, we have learned that it is better to keep our game projects in the early development phase for a longer period of time than in the past. The benefit of this is that the development team size and the benefit of this is that the development team size and thus the operating costs stay lower, and it gives the teams the time they require to design, prepare, and test key elements of the game before the project moves onto a phase of development where a larger team is required. By doing this, we are supporting both high quality as well as cost-efficient game development. We've decided to keep the game codenamed Vanguard longer in the current proof of concept phase and postpone the significant expansion of the development team until the year 2023. This will postpone income from our 2022 to 2023, which means that we expect our 2022 revenue to remain at the previous year's level and our operating result to decline significantly compared to the year 2021, end quote. A few months ago, we learned that the free-to-play cooperative multiplayer game codenamed Vanguard will be co-financed by Tencent.
Tencent is just financing everything. Yeah,
Tencent Games Daily.
They're trying to own the entire games industry. Remedy is doing a lot.
Yeah,
like I just tabbed over to their Wikipedia page.
5 world-class game titles. Okay,
like they have announced Alan Wake 2, that's supposed to come out in 2023, a Control sequel, which is TBA, Condor, which is the Control multiplayer game, which is TBA. They have Max Payne / Max Payne 2 remake, that is TBA, and they also have Vanguard, which is this one, which I believe isn't connected to anything they've done previously. A new multiplayer ongoing IP. That's a lot, and like I have trust in Remedy. I think they're a great developer. Control is fantastic, and the previous games have been fantastic. But I'm also like, damn, can y'all do all this? Do you guys have the facilities to do all these different things, especially with multiple multiplayer games and then these huge AAA, highly anticipated single player titles? That seems like a lot for one developer to be working on.
It does, but Remedy is an incredibly talented studio, and I think the fact that they are talking about leaving things longer in pre-pro before they move it over does work to it. What does that actually net out to? We'll have to wait and see what the results are, but I'm not chomping at the bit here for chomping at the bit, champing at the bit for
bit.
Vanguard. But I think colloquial now you can say chomping, but then some person always goes, well, it's champing, and it's like, well, look at the fucking dictionary because now it's both. And that pause right there gets cut out. Fucking God. A bunch of crazy people listening to the show, you know? Sixth and final on the Roper Report, ladies and gentlemen. We Are OFK is launching August 18th. There's a new trailer out, but there's also a tweet. This is from OFK Band. August 18th, it's real. I'm crying. We Are OFK. Our band's biopic game and EP premiere on Switch, PS4/5, and PC. Of course, you can wishlist the game now, save the EP now, and pre-order the game in vinyl right there. The game overview via Team OFK is this. We Are OFK follows the lives of 4 friends in their 20s as they attempt to break into the music business, fall in and out of love, and figure out how to pay rent and make art in Los Angeles. The key features go like this: 5 episodes of the interactive animated series, 5 interactive music videos with debut tracks performed by OFK, fully voiced interactive dialogue from a star-studded cast, emotional texting, thirst texting, meme texting, emoji spamming, original Los Angeles locations. You're going to love the boba shop. It's wild. Full disclosure, of course, OFK is one of the games that my wife's company is doing PR and marketing and helping it publish or whatever for. I don't believe she's working on it, and it doesn't matter because you've heard me talk about how much I'm into this game since the last Nintendo Direct or PlayStation State of Play it was at. I can't remember which, but that was when I finally listened to the song and was like, oh my God, wait, this is a narrative game where I build a band and try to make it? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Seeing this trailer reignited my excitement for it. Like every single time I see it, I'm like, oh, this game really looks really cool, but it's been one of those ones where it's such an interesting concept for a game that it's been tough for me to be fully all in on it. But seeing this latest trailer and kind of getting the idea of the style, right? Seeing that it's going to be an episodic thing with 5 episodes, and then I assume each episode is a different song from their 5-song EP.
That makes sense, right? Yeah.
Like I think that's a really cool idea, and it brings me back to Sayonara Wild Hearts from a few years ago, and I fucking loved Sayonara Wild Hearts. Like I'm all in on this. I really want to see where this goes.
Yeah, 100%. You know, everybody knows that I'm a sucker for a narrative game, and then if you haven't listened, the debut track, I don't want to look at it. Well, I can sing it for you. Follow one follow. Sorry for the follow, unfollow. And then to my point too, my wife's always like, stop singing that when I sing it. So there you go. So don't worry about it. Anyways, the song's fucking great. And like I've been listening to it on Spotify since that debut trailer. So I'm excited for more music from them. Again, I think it's cool too. It's one of those where it's weekly, right? So I think the first 2 episodes come out together. I think it's a 4-week event or 5 week. Yeah, 4 weeks. 5 episodes over 4 weeks. I can't wait. I'm stoked. Gonna be cool to see what happens. Is it good or not? Who knows? What does the gameplay look like? We'll find out. But I think it's just texting and listening to dialogue and making choices, which that's a great.
They showed some like skateboarding shit in that trailer.
Oh, did they? I don't remember that.
They had which I don't remember ever seeing before. I assumed that there was going to be some rhythm game shit in this game too, which it was one of the things that had me really excited. Again, it's one of those ones where it's like, right here is some of the skateboarding stuff. It's one of those ones where when you watch a trailer, they show so much where I'm like, I don't understand what this game is, but I'm excited for it. Like,
which strikes me so much like Sayonara Wild Hearts, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also it reminds me of Thirsty Suitors as well, which is another one.
I can't wait for that game too.
Pretty cool. But yeah, like at this point, I'm just excited for the ride. You know, like,
me too.
I like that it's unique. I like that they're doing the 5-week thing. I know there have been plenty of situations where there have been those kind of games, the episodic stuff that is week to week, that has people fall off after the first week or the first couple of weeks, and I've been guilty of that. But hopefully that doesn't happen with this one.
If it's got a good hook in the front, right? Like I feel like when you think of episodic and falling off, I think usually you think of old Telltale. But that was also where it was like Walking Dead season 1, episode 1. Okay, and then 3 months later there's another one, and then 4 months later, and now 2 months, but now 5. Like, you know, it was always up and down. Whereas when I think week to week, I think more about like Tell Me Why. When that launched from Xbox and Don't Nod, that was weekly. But the problem there was I played the first one. I was like, I'm not like enraptured. I can't wait to find out more about this. It's like, okay.
That happened to me with there was a game called 4 out of 5 that came out on or no, not 4 out of 5. 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It was like a weird week to week episodic thing. 6 out of 7. It was like a game about a game developer. It was another like narrative, weird gameplay style kind of game that I played the first episode and was like, oh, this is interesting. And then it didn't have enough punch to it where I felt like sticking by it the whole way through for the 5 weeks. This one I think is more up Like this one is more my vibe. This one is more so a thing where I'm like, I can see myself going through it, especially with each song. And this is me assuming, right? Each song being a different episode. I can see myself being like, yeah, I want to listen to the whole EP because the music is rad. And if that's the case, then I'm excited for it.
There's a question here. We are running late, and I want to tackle it in the post show if you don't mind, Bless.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because springing from this topic is a question here from Haiji Huyunga, who says, has an episodic release schedule ever made a game better?
Ooh.
And I think there's a lot to unpack there because it kind of gets me angry. So I like that we'll get there and do it in the post show if you don't mind, everybody.
3 out of 10, by the way, is the game. Thank you, chat.
310 to you, man. Remember that?
Yes.
Wait, what now? 310 to you?
Blessing OFK comes out on August 18th, but that's so far away. If I wanted something more immediate, say what came to the mom and grop shops, where would I go?
Well, you would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah! Barrett, did you get a little bit of young Luke Skywalker when I said where would I go?
No, honestly, Greg,
where could he be?
Oh, okay, all right. I hear it now. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready. You always have to prepare me for your performances, Greg, because you're such a great you're a character actor, and you just kind of get lost. So I don't even know what you're going for.
I can do so many characters.
Exactly.
Out today, Frogun. Maybe Frog-Un. PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. And you're probably saying, Frogun or Frog-Un, what's that all about? You have a gun that's a frog. So it's frog. It's Frog-Gun.
Shoot.
It's Frog-Gun, but it's only got one G, so we're sharing the G.
Shoot. This looks rad.
Frogun. I thought you might like this one.
Yeah, this looks cool as hell. It's like
some coins, jump around, push things, do some puzzling with the frog.
PS1 era style platformer with a gun. That's a frog.
It makes me sad though, because I guess no, it is literally just a gun that's a frog. I thought she was just holding a frog and squeezing it.
So no.
Okay.
It's not like when you punch Yoshi.
Oh, and there's multiplayer.
This looks awesome.
Remember when?
Can we do a stream? Put this on the schedule.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Greg Miller is a tastemaker. All right, this is why I turn you on to things like Frogun, the Bear. Yeah. This is what I do, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, I know you listen to the show sometimes. I need you to put on the stream schedule of me and Barrett playing some Frogun multiplayer. Thank you.
He better listen. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 is on Xbox One. The Mortuary Assistant is on PC. Before We Leave is on Switch. And then in Red Dead Online, collectors will earn big in all month long as Madame Nazar is paying double on collector set sales, while a variety of rewards await them in the frontier from simply logging on to completing select collector activities. New dates for you while we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Studio MDHR teased the Cuphead season 2 release date. They put up a little tweet there. You can see it says, "Keep your eyes peeled. There's fun to be had on ... And then the 8/5 August.
Well, there's debate on if it's the it says 8/5, but then they're like, oh, is it all together? So it's the 13th. Netflix says it's the 19th. No one knows when the fuck this show's coming out.
Not gonna lie, I saw the 3 dice and I was like, 6, 2, 5. We're gonna June 2nd, 2005. That's where my mind went.
Frail Hearts is coming out on August 16th, 2022 on PC. And then Apple Arcade is getting Amazing Bomberman on August 5th and Jetpack Joyride 2 on August 19th. Deals of the day for you. Coming soon to Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. You have, drumroll please, Barrett. Wow, it was a really good drumroll, Barrett. That's really, really good.
I used to be a drummer, come on.
Today, Ghost Recon Wildlands. August 4th, Shenzhen IO and Turbo Golf Racing. August 9th, 2 Point Campus. August 11th, Cooking Simulator, Expeditions of Rome, an off-world trading company. If that wasn't enough for you, according to the one, the only, the Wario 64 on Twitter, the US PlayStation Plus Essential titles are up. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, and Little Nightmares are all up right now for you to download if you are a PlayStation Plus Essentials member on the old PlayStation Plus, which is very easy. Don't worry about it.
And Wario 64 also called out that if you get Yakuza Like a Dragon, you are playing it first on PS4, and then you're thinking about if you play it first on PS4 and then you get a PS5 later and you want to transfer that save over, that does not transfer. So just be very selective on if you're gonna start Yakuza Like a Dragon on either PS4 or PS5, just stick to that console until you beat it.
We ask people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Right there, I burped, but it was away from the mic. So you probably think it just rode right into it. You don't even know what I'm saying or breathing over here. Nanobiologist has a couple right off the bat. Yeah, 2 right off the bat. He says, number 1, the new My Hero game, Ultra Rumble, is a battle royale game, not a fighting game like Bandai Fighting Games 1's Justice. All right. And then he says, the joke in Teen Titans Go is from season 7. It released in 2021. And then Timmy Buddy spells it out one more time for us. Let's see if this is a concise thing, okay? A casino battle royale is just a 21-person Royal Rumble where 5 people are placed in a suit, and every 2 minutes, a new suit of 5 people come out. The Joker comes out last by themselves, and they are the Joker because they are a surprise who is not announced ahead of time. The winner of the match then gets a shot at the world title on a random episode of Dynamite in the next few weeks or so.
I mean, but think about how big of a surprise it would be when Joaquin Phoenix ends the show as Joker.
Or Jared Leto pops up, damaged.
AEW, whenever you want us to book, just let us know. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of booking, let's talk about the host for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, you'll be getting Blessing in the lead chair with me riding shotgun. Thursday, it's Blessing and Tim. Friday, it's Tim and Blessing. If you are watching live on Twitch right now, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Mike and Andy are playing Multiversus and Fall Guys right after this. If you say, hey, I'd love to watch that. I am not on Twitch, though. I'm driving a car, and I bleeped out all the silence because I really want to go fast and listen to a lot of podcasts. I understand. You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnyplays, our newest YouTube channel, and you can watch the archive of Multiversus and Fall Guys there, along with everything we stream, and have some fun times over there. If that wasn't enough for you, remember, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Tomorrow we'll be back. All the nerdy news you need to know about. You can watch live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. And if you have Amazon Prime, toss it our way. If you want, you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe. Watch it that way. If you want the best experience possible, you go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where, of course, you can watch us record shows like PS I Love You, XCast, and Gamescast live when there's no embargo. I think XCast recording today, right? Their first Tuesday episode.
It's our first Tuesday episode. What will we talk about since it's such a short turnaround? You'll just have to tune in and find out over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Mike and I talked about it yesterday. It's going to be a fun episode.
Excellent. I can't wait. Of course, you could write in to be part of the show there. You can get the shows ad-free. You get the post show we're about to do like you could each and every weekday. You could also get Bless Who for the Gamescast, a really fun game show. I win all the time that everybody gets mad at me for winning all the time. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Always on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. If you want one more free way, of course, use the creator code KINDOFFUNNY on the Epic Game Store. Whether you're playing Fall Guys, whether you're playing the V-Buck buying game Fortnite, whether you're over there just buying random games on the Epic Store, you can use the creator code KINDOFFUNNY and help us out. For now, though, post show, Twitch show, things happening. Stop perverting the art we make by cutting out the pauses. All right.
Yeah.
It drives Blessing.
You know what the more apt comparison is when you watch like an R-rated movie like on TV, and then they cut out all the swears and they like cut out scenes and stuff. That's the more apt comparison, I think.
Strike this guy out.
Yeah.
That was a Major League reference. All right, let's go. Bye.